So I know it's been actually like 2 months since I've actually tried to film anything. Ultimately ended up in me having a miscarriage. I felt the overwhelming peace of the Lord. I quit my job. I know. I received a lot of backlash. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a new day. It has been a minute since I have graced your presence on YouTube, and a lot has happened. I know I was posting Vlogmas videos that I had filmed ahead of time. So I know it's been actually like 2 months since I've actually tried to film anything, and a lot has happened. So today I thought I would just do a little reset vlog. I really need to clean. We have moved into a new house. I'm currently sitting in the guest bedroom filming this, but we have moved into our house and it is a mess. There is still so much to situate and get comfortable. And so I just thought I would reset. That's what we've been doing in January, and then I can update you guys on some of the things that we've been through over the past 2 months that has made it really difficult to film, and has made just life really difficult in general, and how I am getting through that. So let's get into this video. Sadie is going to join me for this update. So if you hear tippy tappies or love being given, that is Sadie Mae. So the number one thing that I want to talk about, and this is great, you're my support animal, okay, is a really hard topic that I don't want to go into too much detail about, but Zach and I did find out in the beginning of November that we were expecting a baby, and that was really exciting. We weren't necessarily trying to have a baby, but we weren't not trying to have a baby. Right off the bat, things did not go well with that baby, and a lot of hard things happened that ultimately ended up in me having a miscarriage in the beginning of December. Our baby was supposed to be due in July, and that was really, really hard, as you can imagine it would have been. And the reason that I like to talk, well, I don't like to talk about it, but I want to talk about it more, is that when that happened to me, I felt the pressure to not say anything, to not tell anyone, to not do anything about it, and I didn't like that. And I think if that's something you want to do, personally, that's great for you, but I wanted to have a support system. We did tell people that we were pregnant really early, and we don't regret that at all. There hasn't been a moment that I've regretted doing that. And so it just felt natural to talk about losing that baby and what that meant for me and my husband. It has been now almost 2 months since that's happened, and I'm just getting to a point where I can talk about that and that not affect me as much. It will always affect me personally, and it will always make me sad. It will always be a hard topic to talk about and work around. That will never change. But I'm now to a point where I can realize that God has a plan for me, and God had a plan for that baby and just needed him or her a little bit early. So after our miscarriage happened, we decided we wanted our baby to have a name because it was a person that we celebrated, and so it didn't feel right for it to not have a name. We we're not far enough along to know the gender, obviously, but we both felt a bigger pull towards boy, but we wanted to go with a name that could be boy or girl because we didn't know. And we ended up settling on Dawson. I love that name, and I had it picked out from the very beginning when I found out I was pregnant. And so that is the name we went with, and then we went with a more masculine middle name of Elias. And I felt like the whole time that I was going through that God was with us. Something that I will go into detail about is that during this whole process, no matter how sad I was, or anxious or depressed, no matter what emotion I was feeling, I felt the overwhelming peace of the Lord. And that is indescribable, having that peace and joy in your life. So I thought I would read 2 Bible verses, and if this isn't your thing, that's okay, but it's my thing. 2 Bible verses that have really stuck with me through this time of my life, and explain why they've stuck with me during this time. The first verse is Deuteronomy 31:8. And it says, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged." That stuck out to me because I really feel like the Lord has been in this situation with us, giving us that peace, giving us that direction. I can't explain that at all because this should be a time where I'm not peaceful and I'm super depressed and anxious, and that's just not the truth. The second verse is 2 Corinthians 1:3-4, which says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God." And that sounds really confusing, but if I had to sum that verse up, I would say, God has comforted me in this time so that if someone else is going through this, I can also share that comfort with them. If you have been through this or have been through any sort of similar struggle, please reach out to me. I would love to be a support person for you because I know how important it was that I had support people in my life, and I would love to share the peace and love and joy of Jesus Christ that I felt during this time, and try to find some sort of positivity from what has happened. As you can imagine, it was not a great time for me, and so I had to basically take a break from everything in my life, which I think is fine. I think when you go through something like that, it's okay to take some time for yourself and reevaluate priorities, reevaluate everything, and that's kind of what I did. That's why you haven't seen me on here in a while, and I haven't really talked about it otherwise in person with my friends and family, but I am to a point now where I can realize that God has a plan, and that plan's going to be amazing no matter what it is, and I am very grateful that we got to celebrate our baby as long as we did, and that it will be in God's timing when we have another one. I think that that's all I really want to talk about with that. I just felt like it would have been weird to not mention it to all of my people that watch these videos, and just kind of go on and not talk about it because I talk about it in my normal life. Let's get back to cleaning a little bit more because I still don't feel reset enough. So back into it, and then we can talk a little bit more. Also, this shirt's bothering me because it's a little big and oversized, which I love when I'm sitting down, but I feel like when I'm sitting here, it looks like I'm wearing a tent, and I'm not. It's just baggy and cute, but I feel like when I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder, I look dumpy. I don't want to be dumpy. The next update that I have is I quit my job. I know. That sounds crazy, and it is crazy. Let's talk about it. I don't have to explain why I quit my job. I'm going to because I like people to be updated on my life, and I like putting videos out for me in the future, or my future kids, or whoever is gonna watch this. And so I'm going to explain why I quit my job. One, originally I was going to be a mom. That makes sense, right? So originally I had planned to quit my job around this time. Anyways, when I then realized that was not my reality, that led me and my husband to basically discuss, what does our life look like now? Do you not quit your job? Do you quit your job? Ultimately, we together came to the decision that it was gonna be better for me to quit my job for two main reasons. The first one being, after my miscarriage, my mental health was not good. I was just not doing well. I had Jesus and I had the peace of the Lord, but ultimately I just struggle with the mental health stuff at the moment. So the number one reason was my mental health. I just needed to take a break. The second, I guess there's three reasons. The second reason is this makes sense for me and my family. We moved into our house, which is owned by my parents, and we are very blessed to be living here. This probably will not be a long-term situation for us, depending on your view of what long-term means. Living here, not owning it, so we don't pay a mortgage on it, and that kind of stuff, we just pay for what we use, has afforded us the right to live on one income in the easiest way I can explain that. That doesn't mean that it's not gonna be difficult living on one income after we've lived on two. So that wasn't stopping me from quitting my job. And then the third reason was let me preface with, I loved most of the people that I worked with. I loved the environment most of the time. What I didn't realize about corporate jobs is there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of gossiping. There was no like passion to work there, which I think is really normal when you work in an office job. I think it's really rare to find someone who's like super just like passionate about it. But I've never worked a place where I wasn't passionate to be there, and that's how I felt at this job, was just, I didn't have the passion to be there. And I am currently still working on opening up my own business. We just had to take a little break because of life in general, and because the winter doesn't afford you very much time outside to work on it. I have another thing that I'm working on that I am passionate about and do want to put my time and energy into, and this job just wasn't it. So those three things combined, it just made sense for me to quit my job. I think the number one thing, and I know I'm saying this with the potential that these people that I used to work with will/could watch this, so I'm not gonna use names, and I'm not gonna use genders, and I'm not gonna use any identifying factors at all, other than I don't understand why people are not supportive when you're doing the right thing for you, I guess is the best way I could put that. I received a lot of backlash about quitting my job, and a lot of negativity and a lot of not support, and there was a lot of people that supported it. But I feel like as someone who takes to heart what people say, it hit me a lot harder when people weren't supportive of that. So I really struggled with my decision after I put it out into the world, and the world didn't like that. That really made my decision really hard, and it wasn't a hard decision for me and my husband. And that's really what the most important factor should have been, was me and my husband weren't struggling with that decision. It was a decision we made with happiness and peace and joy. That should be all that mattered, and it's not. Let me show you what this dog is doing. Oh, now she's not gonna do it, obviously. She was rolling around on the carpet. anyways, me and my husband both know that I am doing the right thing. So if anyone in my personal life sees this and is like, why did she quit her job? Why, like, is her husband not mad at her? I heard that a lot. Why, is your husband mad at you? I heard that question a lot. He's not mad at me. He actually really supported the decision. I was willing to work a little bit longer and he was like, nah, quit now. So no, my husband isn't mad at me. He actually got me these flowers on my last day at work. So he's not mad. He's actually really proud of me. And now I have more time to work on my passions, my hobbies. This is a hobby for me and I absolutely love making videos and I cannot wait to make more videos. And I'm making this video specifically knowing that most of the people that watch my videos and most of the people in my personal life aren't going to watch this one because it doesn't have a catchy title. It doesn't have a crazy event in it. It's genuinely just for me and the people who genuinely love my content to watch and understand where I'm at and what I've been through in the last 2 months. And how I'm going into 2025 because it's really changing my outlook and shaping me into the person that I am. That is all I have to say. I hope that you who are watching this right now continue to support me, continue to watch my content as I grow this year. I hope that the Lord is blessing you this week in so many amazing ways. I hope that you get to feel the peace and joy and love that he brings as well. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye. And so I'm gonna read 2 Bible verses that have you're really just gonna stand right in front of me while I'm talking. Lay down, come on. Lay down. Really.